Well, all right. How's everyone doing? I'm Matthew McConaughey. We gonna get it right. I got Robert Beninati right in front of me here. Am I all right with this accent, Robert? Is that a bad impersonation, or was it okay?
If it wasn't for your bald head, I'll probably believe you.
Well, all right. So, anyways, I'm going through my different ideas or concepts for my podcasts. So what Robert does, he hits me up spontaneously and basically says, get your ass to the office. Let's do some podcasts. So I run over here. So I had a list of a bunch, but I went to the very bottom. And I threw this one at him right off the bat, and he likes it. It's called People Are Going to Judge You No Matter What You Do. So let's get into this. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm judging you as we speak right now.
Well, all right.
Yeah, that's a topic that gets to everyone because nowadays with all the social media, everything you put up,
Yep.
you know, everyone's fast and quick to criticize and judge.
For sure.
You know, so I think that's what holds a lot of people from posting videos or comments or whatever it is they're trying to do. It's fear of being criticized.
Yeah, I think at the beginning, everybody kind of, I guess when social media first came out, I should say like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, they had a voice, right? And they wanted to express it. Or it could be photos, it could be quotes, it could be whatever they're doing. But I definitely do think now, because I get hit up by a lot of people, believe it or not, saying, Rich, are you afraid of the things you're saying? Because I say a lot of crazy shit, right? Or even my videos, my language. Because everything I put out there now can eventually be looked at as being, in one way or another, not good.
So let me ask you this. Now that you're saying things I'm putting up now.
Yeah.
I think this is a topic that fear of being judged comes from way years ago.
Yeah.
You know, when there was no social media. I'm talking about maybe 100 years ago when it was just newspaper.
Yeah.
You had to be careful what you said, you know, I guess at an event back in the days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they would judge you, you know, who you're hanging around with. They would judge you. So I think this always existed, you know. I think with how we evolve now and social media and the accessibility of you being exposed is much greater and faster.
Yeah.
That we get hit more with that judgment.
Well, I think a lot of people are afraid what they're going to lose, not what they're going to gain out of this anymore. So if you work for someone and say I pick a side politically or I say something inappropriate or I post something that I'm doing that weekend.
Yeah. You could lose your job just for tweeting the wrong thing.
Yeah, you could lose your relationship.
Yeah.
You can lose a lot. What's the payoff? Like, is it worth it? I mean, really, when you look at it, you exposing yourself, I don't mean in a bad way.
So what do? You silence yourself now? I mean, basically, you have to silence yourself, not say anything because it could get just represented in a wrong way. Because I mean, even if you did not mean it, or even doesn't even sounds like it, they'll make it sound like you said something that's, you know.
I think they can almost spin anything anyone says to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I really do. Regardless what you say, someone's going to always look at. Mm-hmm. You can look at it wrong.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So what do you do? Not say anything now?
You know what? This is my theory. Social media came around and it was really good for me because maybe it's ego or whatever. I had no problem ever kind of doing whatever I wanted to do publicly. I don't know if that's a confidence thing. I don't care. Maybe it was the environment I grew up in.
Yeah, but then again, you don't have a job, right, that is like politics, that you're going to be scrutinized for everything and anything you say. And that danger of losing that position.
Right.
That, you know.
But I don't go in that position because I know who I am, though.
Of course.
Right? So you got to know where you stand. If you're going to, a lot of people are pretending they're something they're not, and then kind of get caught too. Let's call it for what it is.
And there's a level of that too. For example, myself, I don't work for anyone, right? I work for myself, but I do work for clients. So to a certain degree, am I careful what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
I'm sure you are.
They might not like it, and then I might lose them. But then again, I never had them anyway, so do I really care what they think? Or look at it the opposite way. Man, this guy really has balls to say whatever he needs to say. I like it.
Yeah.
And gain from it. That's always your point. You know, are you more afraid of losing something or gaining?
Right. What are you getting out of it? When I first decided to make films, when you decide to do something where everyone kind of can view it in one way or another, I always say it's easy to critique, it's not easy to create. When you make a film, or say a musician makes an album, or you make a song, I don't care what it is, you can draw a painting. But with a film, this goes way back, when I made a film, everyone's going to see it. They're going to say, the audio sucked. It's this. It's cheaply made. But then other people will be like, I love it because it's so underground, right? So you're going to have some saying it doesn't look like a Hollywood film, it sucks. Other people saying, well, I get it. He went another way with it. But it exposes you.
It does.
Right?
It will at every... It's funny, I was watching an interview with Michael Jordan. And they're talking about his last documentary, The Last Dance.
Sure.
Of his last championship. And he was really talking about, you know, how they went thoroughly through every clip and every, you know, before it was launched.
Right.
Because they wanted a certain message, right, to come out of it. And it was the work ethics.
Okay.
It was the leadership.
Sure.
And it was a work ethic, leadership, and something else that he wanted to really bring to light. Yeah. And he says, and we didn't want him to get the wrong idea of the whole film. But then again, he said, we try to minimize that, but still, there's people that are going to judge it.
Yeah, they're going to say he's a bully.
See it, right? And they're going to see it
look
differently.
At it from a different perspective.
Right? Yeah. So we're always going to get judged, and when you make peace with that, and like maybe Jordan did, he tried to minimize whatever he was putting out there, and minimize the exposure to be judged. Right. I think you're still going to get judged regardless.
No, you can't escape that. How the hell are you going to make anybody
and
happy,
someone
really?
that's not happy with you, that doesn't really like you, or you know, they're going to find a way to find something negative about it.
Sure.
Right. And rip you apart.
Yep.
So I think whenever you decide to do something, say something, post something, whatever it is, I think you have to be 100% confident with yourself. Yeah. And just understand that you will get judged, and that's okay.
For sure.
And whatever production you put out there, whatever you do, that just hope that it will change someone's life in a positive way. And those that are judging, they're just going to judge. It's an opinion at the end of the day.
If you're successful, people are going to talk shit. If you're a nobody, they're going to talk shit. I mean, that's just... Yeah. Back to my film stuff, when social media came around with MySpace, I was like, this is awesome. I have another place to showcase my clips of my films, my trailer, besides just trying to get a distribution deal, because back in the 1990s, early 2000s, you had a couple options. You had, obviously, DVD, and you had a movie theater or film festivals, right? Right. It's not like now with YouTube or all these other things. But then when MySpace came around, I'm like, wow, I can market this myself independently as well. Because there really was you had to email people. There was really no social media. But then that kind of collapsed. And I remember me being extremely aggravated. I've talked about it before. And then Facebook came around. I'm like, I'm not starting another bullshit thing here, right? And it wasn't like a platform where I can it was just different than MySpace. Because I had a wall that you could just clip on. You know what I mean? It was just different. It was different. But my point being is... I went through this even with my books. So I wrote a couple books. And my second book, which was interesting, either people loved it, a lot of people but a lot of people hated it. A lot of women hated my verbiage in there. And even my family members were like, really, I never thought you thought this way. Or I never knew you were this type of guy at this point in your life. Or all these different things, because you do expose yourself, right? And they do look at you differently after that. But I just wanted to write something. I'm just using that for an example. Exactly at that point in time how I felt. Now, what's crazy is I go back and read that now, because I wrote it almost 10 years ago. I'm like, wow, I really was rough around the edges here. Like if I read that now about myself, I'd be like, wow. Because I don't think that way now necessarily entirely.
I just think this way now. you know, especially when you get up in age, you just don't give a shit, number one.
Yeah.
Right? And regardless of what you do or you do not do, people are not going to like you. Not everyone will like you. You just got to worry about the ones that do.
I guess. I think
that's really
if
it
you're
at the
honest
end.
to yourself at this point in time, but here's the thing, you're going to make mistakes.
And you can't live the rest of your life in fear of other people's judgment. And what you're afraid of is that you put something out there. But I think even if you don't put something out there, there's people that are judging you in secret anyway. You know what I'm saying?
You just got to be comfortable. You just got to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, you just do what you got to do.
I know I'm going to say things today that may offend people. Just saying.
And that's okay.
And maybe in 5 years I'll be like, wow, I shouldn't have said that. But then again, maybe I'll be like, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know what the future entails.
And someone might say, I got offended with what he said. And then 5 years later said, you know what? He was right.
I know
it could go either way.
I already know I'm offensive. My father used to always say, I'm the most offensive person on the face of the earth. I think he used to say as a joke.
Right.
But I get being offensive but I can give a hit. I can take a hit. I think that's where you can't always be a pussy, right? You can't, how do I say this? Like, I say things I know sometimes that are totally inappropriate at the wrong time, at the wrong place. I'm going to still do that. I think that way. I don't know if it's a comedic type thing. But also, if you say something to me,
you're okay with it.
I'm okay with it because I get the joke. I get you can make fun of me, right? But a lot of people can't handle the hit. They're great at, you know what I mean, making other people feel uncomfortable or
too sensitive.
Yeah, exactly. Sensitivities.
Listen, you say whatever you want as long. I don't give a shit. Say whatever you want.
Yeah, let's not. Things just got a lot of times too serious. Like life isn't meant to be that serious, I don't think. Or at least my lifestyle isn't.
Say whatever you want to me. Just don't put your hands on me. I think that's when it gets serious. Besides that, just have your opinion. Say what you want, you know.
Yeah.
We're on different levels, you know, vibe, frequency, energy, whatever you want to call it. You know, I get it. Not everyone is going to click.
People are assholes.
Especially
a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people are assholes. I say jack-offs, including me at times. My opinion, if you're caught up so much with other people's opinions,
you'll never live.
You got your own problems.
Yeah.
Like, go live your own life. I'm just telling you, if you're worried about what I'm saying or posting and you don't even know me, say for instance, or even if you are related to me or your friends, you're lost. Because believe me,
most people's opinion
or
judgment comes from their lack of security, their lack of confidence, their lack of knowledge, or they want to be you, they wish they could do what you do, or I don't know. Because it's someone that if you put something out and someone knows more than you about it, they might critique you in a constructive way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They might say, you know what, he said this, I don't agree with it. You know, I think they're more cordial than not. It's the ones that really know Jack or know less than you or want to be you are the ones judging you and criticizing you in a negative way. Because they are afraid of doing what you're doing or whatever the case is, right? I don't know. It's
more about action to me. Like how you can say anything to me what you want, right? To a certain degree, but it's what your actions are. What are you doing? I was very lenient throughout my life, being around a lot of alcoholics, drug addicts, all these people, right? And a lot of people be like, how can you be friends with them? Or how can you listen to them? Or what the hell are you doing around them? But their actions a lot of times weren't towards me that were bad. They were actually a lot of times towards themselves.
Most of the time, that's what it is.
Right. So
it's where they come from. It's mentally, right? It's where they're coming from. It's their position in life, how they view things. That's where the comment is coming from.
But I can't sit around and no one lives a perfect lifestyle. Is right? my point.
That's why I'm lighthearted when people say things.
Exactly.
I just okay, that's your opinion. Great, you have one.
And what they do a lot of times now, if you go out and start murdering, I'm gonna have a problem with you. If you're a pedophile, I got a problem with you. Yeah, that's different. Right? Those are extreme. But for the most part, I just look at people and go, if again you're worried about me, but I'm not worried. Like a lot of people, as we know, they do a lot of things that are inappropriate. They do a lot of crazy shit. They may not publicly be doing it or talking about it, but I know a lot of people have problems. Stop worrying about other people's problems and kind of focus in on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of put some.
They don't want to face their problems. That's why they
No, they're more worried about what me and you are saying. Yeah. If they are, then like I was just saying, don't worry about us. We know how nuts. I know how nuts I am. I'm not saying you, but.
Hey guys, if you're listening to this and you have an idea of doing something, whatever, just go ahead and do it. Post it, comment, Do whatever the hell you want, and don't worry about anyone else.
Listen, I'm Matthew McConaughey, and I'm going to tell you, you got to do what you got to do. All right, we're going to wrap it up here, Robert. He's back, Robert.
Yeah.
All right, take care, everyone.